Evening, boys and girls. It's yet more tales from the broom cupboard here. Going on about my life story, the early years, very early years actually. Um, got a couple of things, well, about three or four things to tell you about tonight. One of them when I was about 4.5 and got married. I know it sounds stupid to me sometimes. This girl, I think her name was Caroline or something like that. I can't really remember her name now. About the same age as me. And she seemed to like me for some reason. She came up to me one day and said, "Can we get married, Jim?" So I stupidly said yes. Now, I didn't think anything about it. But next thing I knew, she told her parents, who told the other grown-ups something. They arranged this thing, and just down the road from us was this sort of woodyard place with this big long logs either side of a central area. And they sort of acted like seats. And for all I knew, I was down there, pushed in by lots of people and so-called mates. She's standing there with a piece of net curtain over her hair, like a wedding veil, and all the parents going, "Oh, I don't look cute," and all this embarrassment, mega embarrassment. so anyway, went through this sort of ceremony. Never really spoke to her again after that. But you know, these things happen, don't they? Anyway. Anyway, get back to more serious things. Another thing that happened was, when I was young, was that we were quite adventurous in a way. Never had any fear of anything really. And there was this big old coal barge, wooden thing. It was really high, about say 20 feet off the ground. The bottom had rotted away, so it never actually floated. It just sort of stood there. And it must have been about 100, 150 foot long, quite wide. And we've been watching films about, Robin Hood, Errol Flynn, all that sort of carry on, And we found this three-pronged anchor and some rope tied together over the top, clambered up, as you do. Anyway, went into the captain's cabin, which is at one end of the boat, the barge thing, and there's all sorts of charts and things there, all very interesting. Well, to me anyway, they were interesting. I don't know about the other kids. And then went down the hold, and there was a metal ladder going down the side, one side of the hold. Went down there. There's a bit of mud and stuff and rubbish at the bottom. Not too good. And then, horror of horrors, loads of rats started to come out. And so all the kids climbed up the ladders, and I was left at the bottom. And suddenly this white rat ran across one of my feet. Well, I was up that ladder, and I got to the top before the guys were on the ladder. So it just shows you what fear can do. It sort of spurs you on a bit. So that another sort of incident that happened was down the road from us. There was a field that had sort of ploughed every year with corn in it, wheat or whatever. In them days, it's done with horse plough. Team of about 6 horses, Shire horses, and there was a little grey Fordson, I think, tractor that they used occasionally, but that all seemed to be conking out. So the horses were doing the main work, and of course, every autumn they burnt the stubble. Well, a couple of years they didn't sort of use it very much, and they burnt it off. But apparently the fire got down below the ground and was sort of smouldering away down there. We used to play on this ground and think nothing of it, and all sorts of funny bushes on it, like something from the Wild West, like tumbleweed sort of stuff. And we cowboys and Indians, that sort of thing, playing on it. And one day I was walking across this land and my foot went through, and there's hot stuff below, and it did hurt, I can tell you that. And I sort of lie on my back, and this sailor who was out there with his girlfriend suddenly appeared and grabbed me and took me home. Pushed me home, put my foot in some water, called the doctor. He came, said it was only minor, put some cream on and whatever. And it cleared up in 3 weeks, I think it was. Can't remember exactly now. But from then on, I was a bit more careful. And then after a month or so, they actually ploughed the whole land way up and got rid of all the burning stuff, brought it to the surface, burnt off, and that was it. And from then on, I don't think they've ever burnt it again, but the stubble, but just ploughed it in. Someone somewhere up in above, some honcho must have given the order down, don't do this to Jimmy again, and that was it. Sorts of things like that happen. We used to have arrow fights across the canal, or what was left of the canal, portion of the canal. They guys on one side, us on the other, firing arrows across, and that. And I come I had 5 arrows across, and after the sort of 5, we all collected our arrows and that. And this other kid pinched my arrows. I mean, come on, these was big stuff. And his mother came along, and she always had a push bike, and she'd put him on the back, and she'd ride off. Well, she still had my arrows, and I'd complain to her. She ignored me completely. And I grabbed the back of the bike. Bear in mind, I was only about 6 at the time. I lifted the back of the wheel off the ground. How the strength I just do not know. But, these things happen. And anyway, I went home. She rode off. I've got my arrows back. She rode off. And next thing I knew, got home, policeman knocking out. I understand your son has been lifting bikes and harassing this woman and this and another. Then he looked at me and shook his head. Did you mean Jimmy? Tiny kid, skinny as anything. He thought, oh, come on, he's skinny. This woman must be stupid. So he said, that's okay, Mrs. Okay, we'll sort it out. And off we went. That was it. I'd never heard any more. So got out of that one, So things do happen, and least expect them. Not much else to tell you tonight. Oh, I must apologise. I'm trying to get into this editing idea with videos and that, and sort of got an idea of putting pictures in, but some of them don't entirely come at the right time. Not sure quite how to get around that. I'll get there in the end. I always do, but at the moment, I'll just have to bear with it a bit, shall we? I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to earn any money on this channel, but you never know. Might go viral one day. Never know. Anyway, take care of yourselves out there and behave.